Welcome back to my channel. This is Tita Lavinia of Titas of Pageantry, and for this episode, I'm going to be bringing you my top 10 favorite swimsuit performances at the recently concluded Miss Universe Philippines 2021 swimsuit preliminary competition. So please make sure you stick around, please subscribe to the channel, as well as hit that bell notification button for your weekly pageant picks. Hey guys, so I know we just came from a live session earlier, but I had a full list earlier and it was all muddled up. I've had some time in between. I was able to review the footages. I was able to also review my list and also narrow them down to who I think performed the best. So I came up with 10 ladies for you, but before that, I'd like to discuss the show first. Now, to put it mildly, the show looks very minimalist, and I think that honestly this is a really fresh approach. I like the clever idea of tapping a space that is purposed for something else and then repurposing it for a show like a Miss Universe Philippines preliminaries. So I like that this is most likely a direction that other pageants could really look into. Try to check out converted space, try to check out public spaces. I know that Michael Kors staged his most recent fashion show at a garden. Jacques Mus, the French designer, does this all the time. There was one time that he staged a show at a lavender field, and maybe was that a cornfield. Chanel does this all the time as well. So maybe now is the right time for us to really tap other venues to stage pageants like this. I think it's really a novel idea. Could they have dressed up this space? I honestly think that they could have, but maybe because of time constraints, maybe budget constraints as well as the current situation of dealing with the pandemic, maybe they really couldn't make ends meet and have like elaborate sets or maybe lighting. But what they lacked in all of that aspect, they made up for a very nice HD quality camera. So after the National Costume Show, I honestly lowered my expectations, and I'm glad I did that because watching the show made me a lot happier. Looking at the swimsuits, I really like the swimsuits this time, and I like that they have a choice but that everything is cohesive and it's not jarring to the eyes. I like the pop of red against the industrial minimalist look of the background, which was mostly grays, blacks, silver, and brown. So when you have something red, it does give it a little bit of a cheery vibe, maybe a little bit of a summery vibe. So yeah, if they had more budget, if they wanted maybe to really dress up the space, I would imagine something very like aviation in theme and, you know, just really push for it. Because the way I saw it, they just presented it with a space and they just allowed the ladies to shine on their own. So maybe it's a good thing for everything to be, you know, simple and just focus on the girl. But at the same time, it would be a little nicer. It would look like a production if they at least had maybe a ramp or a stage. I don't know, but that's just me. Good thing is there were a lot of performers this time around, and I am going to be discussing them all for you. So, I'm giving my number 10th spot to Taguig's Katrina Di Maranan. Katrina, of course, is hard to miss. She is beautifully tanned and so even if you look at her from afar. So, she's so striking with her statuesque height, with her body, that bone structure, and the way she projects into the camera. And she's definitely a pro. She knows her angles, she knows how to move, she knows how to play with her looks and her expressions. I just wish that this time around, or maybe by finals, she would pick up the pace, she would speed up a little bit and really show us more spunk. Because although her passerella was really beautiful, I felt that it was more on the elegant side than the sexy fierce side we know Katrina to be. Number 9th spot goes to the opener of each of the shows, and rightly so because she does a great job every time. I'm talking about Albay's Janela Cuaton, who I actually feel is like a mix of Valerie Weidman as well as Keisha Chua, if you remember her from 2018, also from Albay. And what I like about Janela is that this one is tried and tested. She did really well at the Passerella Challenge. She was able to display the same stance, the same composure this time around, and I like that she looked the part. She looked really pretty during the presentation in her two-piece red swimsuit. Number 8 for me is Noelyn Campos of Antique, and I feel like this is her time to shine because not a lot of people are picking it up, and I feel like miss her more. And I want you guys to focus on how clean her pasarela was. She's not like the biggest name in the competition. You don't really get to see a lot of her materials, but this time around, I hope people will talk about her. I hope that people will see the merits on how cleanly this was executed. I wrote a caption on my Tita's Pageantry page and said that she seemed as if she was walking on water, and that's so hard to achieve. The fluidity on someone that tall. She's about 5'11", and you know, she's a former athlete as well, so marrying the strength of an athlete to the grace of a dancer, this was really perfect. And this is actually a perfect performance to reintroduce Noelyn to the pageant-loving fans. Number 7 is another revelation, but actually not so much because we've been talking about her for the past few days. I think she's been gaining momentum steadily. And I'm talking about the brightest star this time, the future of pageantry if it doesn't work out for her. This one is Jane Nicole Mignano of Romblon. Now, Jane has been pretty consistent in these preliminary competitions. And this approach seems like a perfect example of what everybody is saying, know when to peak. Because if she's peaking right now and it's organic, people are picking up on it. People are not paid. Admins are not paid to post her. Everybody just talks about her. It means that she is doing an absolutely amazing job and that she's really banking on her beauty pageant preparation as well as her skills as a person. I know that Jane loves what she's doing because it really resonates. This isn't someone that you just tapped one day and said, girl, you look the part, go ahead and become a beauty queen. This is someone who is blessed with looking the part, and this is someone who actually enjoys pageantry, and it really shows, and it's really paying off for Jane. Next, I'd like to give my number 6 spot to Maureen Robowitz of Pangasinan. I thought that she looked really pretty. It was really nice that she curled her hair a la mermaid waves just to set the mood, just to give us a little bit of that beachy vibe. And you know what? She has developed physically as well. The first time we saw her at Asia's Next Top Model, she was more on the skinny side. She looked like an ingenue. She looked really moody back then, really, yeah, a little sad also, a little more timid. But this time around, you know, you could really sense her transformation. She has a beautifully proportioned body with all the right curves. I love also the idea that she seems to be having fun. I mean, the transformation from a fashion model to a beauty queen seems seamless this time. And not too long ago, there were rumors that there was one candidate who aced everything, and a lot of voices pointed towards Bea Luigi Gomez, who is on my 5th spot. Now, looking at her, that walking footage of her, that was amazing because, again, for me, that showed power, that showed speed, that showed training, that showed foundation. So she definitely owned this and she looked really confident, and you could see it with her posture, with her stance and her stride. But what really sold me in this pasarela performance for Bea Luigi were the few shots towards the end. You could see a lot of her face. There were My number 4th spot goes to another pro this time. I'm talking about Leren May Bautista of Laguna. Now, you know what? Leren's journey for Miss Universe Philippines is a series of ups and downs. And I think that this time around, this is a major up for her. Because I mentioned this on my live session. The ladies were not grouped according to their height. So Leren was mixed with some of the taller ladies and some of the more petite ladies. So as much as you really want to give the others a chance, there definitely is a different vibe when you know someone really tall and statuesque is gonna be next. You feel that anticipation, and this was exactly how I felt when I would see Leren at the back, because I knew that she was going to slay this, and she did slay the swimsuit competition. She looked really poised. She knows what she's doing. She has been on this rodeo several times, and I feel like this time around she did not disappoint. This is one of her forte swimsuit, and I think she has the body for it, and she prepared for this as well. So yeah, good for Laren this time. Number 3 was just so much energy, super fun. She could walk for Fenty, she could walk for Victoria's Secret, should they decide to open the Victoria's Secret fashion show again. I'm talking about Manila's Jasmine Umali. 2 spot goes to the super beautiful Victoria Vincent. This one, when I was doing my notes, I put WOW. That was the only thing I was able to write on my piece of paper, and I was really happy because I think Victoria also ticks the boxes on what a beauty queen should act and look like. But I think a lot of people are a bit nervous with her passerella skills because this hasn't been tried and tested before. We did get a glimpse of it during the passerella challenge or the runway challenge, but even so, that was made in such a way that looked like a music video instead of a passerella challenge. So this time around, we got to see everything. I love her body. She is long and lean as well, but again, we have more curves on her, and she's really sexy looking without looking hoochie. I love the gentle sway of her hips as well as her leg work. I thought it was a huge improvement, and more than that, I really like that pretty face. I mean, this is a face that you could look at all day, and I also like the idea that she was in a two-piece because I think she looks best in a two-piece. My number 1 spot this time, and I don't know if everybody will agree, I am going to give this to the total package that is Steffi Rose Aband, and she was able to display that idea. Others could rise on their own, but whatever it is that she will be presenting in terms of her runway and swimsuit presentation, it's going to be distinctly Steffi. And distinctly Steffi is something that we have seen on social media. A lot of people are commenting, Tita, you know, she used that iconic expression, Tita. She used that move. So it just seems that people are picking up on certain signatures that Steffi has been displaying. Now, these are movements, these are looks that are distinctly her own. Before I end this, I just want to give a few shout outs to some of the girls. I thought that Miss Isabella looked like Isabel Daza. I also like the idea that Kisses had abs. I felt that she was the one who really put in the work at the gym. I also like Miss Makati. She had great energy. Pasig had the pretty face. Iloilo, I love that she now has her hair short because you could really see those, you know, commanding bone structure. I also would like to give a shout out to Vinci Bacalaras of CDO because I think that she's nailing a lot of her makeup looks lately and she'll look really pretty. And of course, I also want to give a shout out to Chella Falconer, who looked like a vixen, who really knows how to project on the camera, as well as Cristel Abello of Aklan. I thought that she had a nice energy to her presentation as well. So there you go, guys. I will leave you and I will see you very soon. Good night.